I really didn't take Tesla seriously until I saw the Model 3.
But Chris, this is a food channel. Why are you talking about Tesla?
If you as a company are unwilling to disrupt yourself, you can guarantee there is another company that inevitably will end up disrupting you. This is how it works. It's safe to say that the entire automotive industry for many decades has been completely complacent, in cruise control, passive. We'll just keep doing what we've been doing. Seems to be working fine. No point innovating. Let's not take any chances. Let's not do anything except what we've been doing. This kind of shit never ends well. It's only a matter of time before a company like Tesla comes along and embarrasses the whole industry and ultimately bankrupts the whole industry. Can anyone think of any other examples? Yeah, I can. How about video rentals disrupted by online streaming services? How about film cameras being disrupted by digital cameras? How about the launch industry being disrupted by SpaceX? The launch industry is one of the greatest examples of all time. These lazy, complacent motherfuckers, the likes of Boeing, Lockheed Martin, for literal decades, completely taking advantage of taxpayers with stupid cost-plus contracts, milking them for all they're worth, doing nothing, no innovation, taking no risks, sucking from the teat of the government. Next minute, a company like SpaceX comes along, nails reusable rockets, massively reduces the cost of getting things to orbit, embarrasses the entire industry. Because these companies got complacent, they were lazy, they stopped innovating. As I said, if you as a company are not constantly attempting to disrupt yourself, your own technology, your own products, your own way of doing things, it's inevitable at some point. Someone else is going to come along and do it for you.
I'm just going to leave this here, and we'll talk about this in an upcoming video, but just think about how vegans make up less than 1% of the population globally, so they're not a very big market. It's pretty easy to discredit these plant-based meats and these products made for vegans because, well, the last I checked, most of us aren't vegan. But what happens when these products improve at an exponential rate? What happens when suddenly you get dairy products that are better than animal dairy products? What happens when you get meat products that are suddenly better than animal meat products? Some companies are going to launch attack ads, misdirection, confusion, try and make it so that people think that their competitors' products are a lot worse than theirs are, instead of actually doing the work that they need to do to innovate and disrupt themselves. I want to be investing in the companies that are actually disrupting themselves and the ones who are actually building new technologies. That is where you're going to make your money. I think what's happening in the auto industry right now is case in point at how old companies who refuse to change get royally fucked when new, better technologies, cheaper technologies come on the horizon. So this is super important to understand when we get into food investing, because the same things are playing out in this industry.
The Model S didn't do it for me. We brought it in, we looked at it, we told the customer at the time that there's nothing really here that you're going to be needing or wanting. It's an expensive, low volume car, and the people who asked was, I don't think it makes much difference. It was Daimler Chrysler that asked us to look at it, and I said, there's nothing here. I don't want to take your, it costs about $1.2 million or $1.3 million to do an assessment on a car, and I didn't want to steal their money. My initial reaction to Tesla was low volume. They're not the kind of cars that I want to waste my time with. Nothing's the same. Nothing after Tesla. Nothing.
Well, let's get into that. What was different about this, right? Because again, you have 40 years of history in the business. Yeah. And again, clearly Tesla was just, low volume, high priced, overlooked it. So here you get this Model 3, you tear it down. What are your thoughts?
Initially, what a piece of shit. I can't begin to tell you. Yeah, I can't begin to tell you how disappointed I was, because we had no customers. When COVID happened, we were dead in the water. And I started looking at this thing, and I'm thinking, who's going to want to buy a report on this thing? And I, quite frankly, had a near mutiny when I said that we were going to buy a Tesla, and tear it apart because we had already tried this a couple of times and it didn't work out. This, I mean, oh my God, the gaps, you could see them from the moon. But anyways, then once we got past the stuff that is obvious, and once we started digging into the electronics, and when I took the lid off the inverter and we started looking at it, I just about wet myself. It was so impressive. And then as we moved through and started looking at all the electronics and how incredibly efficient and effective the design was, okay, so they can't make the gaps and the paint sucks. But you know what? Everything that really counts, the powertrain, the power distribution, the electronics, the communications, the software, everything was 10 years ahead of everybody else.
How did it change the game? I mean, again, you're talking these OEMs, you know, changing their models every 2 to 4 years and really just keeping status quo. And really all of the OEMs, the legacy OEMs, are built on a dealership model, and they make all of their money off of service. And so Tesla brings a car to the market that literally has zero to no maintenance and absolutely changes the game. So from a manufacturing standpoint, what did you foresee?
You cannot, in your wildest imagination, realize or understand how much Tesla has affected the auto industry around the world. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the giga castings. These are something that a lot of people, Munro, my company, Munro as well, has tried to talk the big OEMs into for basically the 40 years that I've been in the auto business, and with no success whatsoever. And the reason for that is always the same. Sandy, you don't understand. In 1957, we did this giant study and found out that body on frame isn't the answer. We have to go to a unibody. Really? Nothing has progressed since 1957.
It's going to be super interesting to see how all of this plays out over the next decade. Do I know who the winners are? I have no fucking idea. I've started this channel because I'm interested in learning about the technology, and we're going to see what I learn. Be careful where you put your money. Don't put it in an industry that's going to go bankrupt. I'm Chris. I'll catch you in the next video.